Hello everyone out there that wants to watch the Chapter 10 practice test. So today we're going to be working through all of the problems involving ellipses, parabolas, and hyperbolas. So before we get started, let's just remind everyone what the standard equations for each one of those is. So the first one that we talked about last week, if we have a parabola, we either have x minus h squared on one side equals 4a y minus k, where h comma k is the vertex, and 4a equals the focal distance, and negative 4a equals x, and that's the directrix. The second shape that we had, we started working with were ellipses. And we had that as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1. And these are all over a squared, and this is over b squared. If x comes first, then this shape is long. If y is first, so if we have y minus k squared over a squared plus x minus h squared over b squared equals 1, that means our ellipse is going to be tall. Oh, and to go back to parabolas quickly, if we have, this is going to open up or down. If we have y minus k squared equals 4a x minus h, my marker's running out. Let's grab another color. So if we have this, then h comma k still holds. 4a is the focal distance. Negative 4a would equal y. This, we either have sideways parabola going to the left or to the right. Third shape that we have, hyperbola. So these are the ones that we talked about the other day. Hyperbola, that's when we have either x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. This is when x is the positive value, we go sideways, and we'll have our slant asymptotes in there. If we have y minus k squared first over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared equals 1. Then we'll have two parabolas that would be vertical. So let's get started looking at the problems. So let's look at the first problem. I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit so we can all see. Write the equation of an ellipse, center at 0, 0, vertex at 0, negative 4, focus at 0, 3. So I already know I have ellipse, so I want something like x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1, where a is the largest value. So we say that we can say that b squared equals a squared minus c squared. Let's get that in focus. So with an ellipse, a is the largest value. So let's graph this and see what we get. Our center is at 0, 0. One of our vertices is at negative 4. So that means our other one is at 2, 3, 4. And our focus is at 3, 1, 2, 3. That means my A is 4, my C is 3, and I want to find B, so I'm going to go back to b squared equals a squared minus c squared, and I'm going to say b squared equals 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 is 7. And I don't need b because it's not asking me to graph it. All I want to do is find the equation. So once I have b squared, and I know that this is sideways because a is the largest number, and I have my 2 focal points on the inside. Our equation is going to be x squared over 16 plus y squared over 7 equals 1. There's your first equation. Just putting the pieces together. Next up, I have a parabola with a focus at -1, 4.5, and the vertex at -1, 3. So the first thing to do, graph it. So let's see, we have our graph, and we'll go left 1, -1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's between 4 and 5. That's our focus. Our vertex is -1, 3. -1, 1, 2, 3. We know that the vertex and the focus for a parabola have to be inside, so that means this opens up. That means I'm going to have a x minus h squared equals 4a times y minus k. And I already know my h and k because they're in my vertex. So I want to know -1, so I go x plus 1 squared equals 4a y minus 3. Now I have to find out what a is, so I look at the distance from the vertex to the focus, and I count. That's 1.5, so a is 1.5, or another way to write that is 3/2. So if I plug a into my equation, I'm going to get x plus 1 squared equals 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So I get 6y minus 3. There's my equation for the second one. The answer is x plus 1 squared equals 6 times y minus 3. Last one for this section. Find a hyperbola, vertices at -3, 3 and 5, 3, focus at 7, 3. Okay, so I'm going to sketch this just a little bit. So I'm going to go 1 vertice to 3, up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's my vertex. I'm going to go 5, 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 3. There's my other vertice. I know that it's going sideways because that's the only way my 2 vertices are going to be opposite. They're how far away? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're 8 away. So that means my A is 8. My focus is at 7, 3. So 5, 6, 7. So that's my focus. So that means my other focus would be here. That's an additional 2 away. So if my A is 8 and my 2 vertices are 8 away from each other, right? So that means if I cut that in half, at half my center is going to be at 1, 3. That means each one of these is 4, so A is 4. Sorry about that. So then the distance from 1 to F, 1 to 7, is 6. So my C is 6. So to find B squared, you have B squared equals C squared minus A squared. So B squared equals 36 minus 16. B squared equals 20. And all it's asking for the equation again. So I have my B, I have my A, I have my C, and I found my center is at 1, 3 because it's halfway between the 2 vertices. So I'm going to write my equation. Since it's sideways, that means the x goes first. So I go x minus, where's my center? 1 squared over A squared, which is 16, minus y minus 3. squared over what's b squared, 20, equals 1. So that's how you solve the first 3 problems. If I give you the information, graph it, write the equation out. Now let's move on to the next section, and it's giving you the equation, asking you to graph them. So looking at the next section, I see that it's asking us first identify each shape, then find the corresponding parts. So looking at number 4, I have x squared over something plus y squared over something equals 1. So I know that's an ellipse. Furthermore, I know that x squared comes first, so that means it's going to be a long ellipse. And it should be that x squared comes first because we have plus, so it's an ellipse. But I want to find out which one is the largest value. So excuse me, not just that it comes first, but the largest value. So I should rewrite this as y squared over 25 plus x squared over 16 equals 1. My a is my largest value, so a is 5, b is 4. My center is at 0, 0. So there's my center. Now I'm going to go a units up on the y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my a gives me my vertices. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives me my vertice. I'm going to go 4 to either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. One vertex. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my last vertex. To find c, I have c squared equals a squared minus b squared. So c squared equals 25 minus 16. 25 minus 16 is 9, so c equals 3. That means my foci are 3 up or down from the center. So I go 1, 2, 3. There's my foci. 1, 2, 3. There's my other focus. So I think I have everything that I need to draw the shape from one vertex to the other, one vertex to the other. There we go. Now if we didn't see that a was the largest number, even when we wrote a is 16 or a is 4, b is 5, we should automatically see that we have to switch those two in order to get the right graph. I'm glad I caught that before we kept going on, or else we'd have to redo this whole video. So moving on, we have y squared equals 12x. So I automatically notice that's a parabola. We also know that it's sideways and it's all positive, so it should open to the right. So given this, my vertex is at 0, 0. There's nothing next to the y, and there's nothing inside parentheses for the x. And my a, I have 4a equals 12, so a equals 3. So I'm going to start at the vertex, label it. So there's my vertex. Now, a is 3, so I go 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. Label that point, F. That's my focus. If I go 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to draw a dashed line, and that's a vertical line. So the way you write the equation of a vertical line is x equals that number. So x equals -3 for the directrix. X equals -3. Now, since I'm just asking you to sketch the graph simply, let me just graph the graph simply. There's my vertex, there's my focus, there's my directrix. Done and done. So looking at the second page of problems, let's start with number 6. We notice that we have x squared plus y squared equals 1. So that tells us we have an ellipse. Which number is bigger? 9's bigger than 8. So a equals 3. b equals the square root of 8, and c squared equals a squared minus b squared. So I have c squared equals 9 minus 8, which is 1. So c equals 1. Not so bad. We also look here, we have our center moved. Our center is at -1, 2. Let's get that in the shot. So our center is at -1, 2 because we have x minus a -1 and we have y minus 2. So if we're going to graph that, let's start by graphing our center. So we go 1 to the left, up 2, label it. Now, we know that the x comes first, so this should be long ways. So I'm going 3 to the right. I go 1, 2, 3. Vertex. I go 1, 2, 3. There's my other vertex. I go up 1, 2, almost 3 to get my vertex because the square root of 8 is almost 9. And I'm going to go down 1, 2, almost 3 to get my vertex. My focus is on the longest side, 1 away. So 1 is F, another one F, and then go from vertex to vertex, drawing a smooth curve. And this shape, if you notice, it's almost a circle. Our ellipse is almost a circle. There we go. Simple, easy, not so bad. If we look at 7, oi, this looks challenging. What should we do? Well, first things first. Get all of the x's together, get all of the y's together. So I have 25x squared plus 200x. So I got the x's together, so I have 25x squared plus 200x. I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to get all the y's together, so I have plus 16y squared minus 160y. Move the 400 to the other side, minus 400. I'm going to factor out a 25, so I have 25, and then I have 25 times what gives me 200? That's 8, so I have x squared plus 8x. Leave a little space, plus 16y squared minus 10y, leave a little space, equals negative 400. So, last bit, complete the square. Half of 8 is 4 squared, 16. Half of 10, negative 10y. Sorry, half of negative 10 is negative 5 squared is 25. So now I just have to do 16 times 25. That's like 100, that's 250 plus 125. Let's just do that since I don't have a calculator, but if I had a calculator handy, I just pull up my calculator and say it is 16 times 25. 400. Hey, look at that. So we're going to add 400 from in here, and 16 times 25, so I'm going to add another 400. Oh, those numbers worked out nice. So I have 25. This is now x plus 4 squared plus 16y minus 5 squared equals, those cancel, equals 400. So the last thing I do, I need to get this equal to 1 because this is an ellipse. So 25 divided by 400. Is 16. So I have x plus 4 squared over 16 plus y minus 5 squared over 25 equals 1. So I see I have an ellipse. My largest number, if I slide this up, is the y is 25. So it really, if we wanted to write it in standard form so we don't mess anything up, we should have y minus 5 squared over 25 plus x plus 4 squared over 16 equals 1. So my A is 5, my B is 16, my C here, sorry, my B is 4, my C is 3. 25 minus 16 is 9, square root of that is 3. So again, we have an ellipse. Our center is at -4, 5. So let's start with the center. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, -4. And then I go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my center. I go 5 either way on the y-axis because 25 is under the y. So I go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vertex. Down 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. Here's my other vertex. I'm going to go to the right and left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Vertex. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my other vertex. I'm going to graph my foci. So that's 3. So 1, 2, 3. Focus. 1, 2, 3. Focus. I have all my pieces. So now I'm just going to connect vertex to vertex. So now we've had 2 ellipses. If you can take a guess, we're probably going to have 2 hyperbolas. So let's work our way through these last 2 problems, knowing that there's not a whole lot of space. So step 1, get the y's together, the x's together. So I have y squared, x squared, y, 4y. So I have y squared minus 4y. Get those together. Then I have -4x squared plus 32x equals, move the number to the other side, 64. Okay, I see that this is y squared and I have a -x, so that means this graph should open up and down. So complete the square here. I have y squared minus half of -4 is 2 squared is 4, so minus 4y plus 4 minus factor -4 out. That means x squared. Change the sign, so that's -8x. Half of -8 is -4 squared is 16. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I had 64 here. I added 4, and then I added a -64. So those 64s cancel out. I'm left with 4. Divide everything by 4. I get y minus 2 squared over 4 minus x minus 4 squared over 1 equals 1. So there's my hyperbola. So I'm going to graph the center. The center is at 2, 4. So I go my center is at 4, 2. Do you see why? Because the y is 2, the x is 4. So I go 4, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 2, 1, 2. There's my center. Okay, my vertex is either up or down 2. So I go up 2, 1, 2. There's my vertex. Down 2, vertex. Now I use my x's to go 1 to either side, 1 to either side. Now I'm going to use a different color just to kind of accentuate this. And I'm going to go up, over, down, over, up. And we're going to draw diagonals through the corners, through the center. So now that I've done that, the last little bit is I'm going to graph this guy. So I'm going to take my green pen. The last and final thing is to find the focus. So the focus is always a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I have 4 plus 1. So 4 plus 1 equals c squared. So c equals root 5, which is just over 4. So it's just over 2. So 1, 2, There's my focus, just a little past my vertex. So there's my two foci. There's problem 8. We have one more to go. So let's finish strong. Here, I've got my x squareds. I have my y. Oh, look, I only have one x squared here. So I'm going to get x squared minus 4x. I'm going to move the 4y to the other side, minus 4y, and then minus 16. Well, what do you know? This is a parabola. I'm going to complete the square on this side, so half of negative 4 is 2, squared is 4, so I have x squared minus 4x plus 4. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So I have negative 4y minus 16 plus 4. So that means I have x minus 2 squared equals negative 4y minus 12. Last thing I can do is factor out a negative 4. I have negative 4, y minus 3 equals x minus 2 squared. So I see that this is a parabola. I see that there's a negative. The x is squared, so it opens down. My vertex is at 2, 3. So I go 2 to the right, 1, 2, up 3, 1, 2, 3. There's my vertex. My A is negative 1, so that means I'm going down 1. There's my focus. I go up 1. There's my directrix. So I'm going to draw a dashed line through my directrix. So once I have my directrix in there, my vertex, I know it's opening down. I'm going to finish this graph. There's my parabola. It's kind of offline, but that will do. The last thing I have to write is the equation of this line. That is y equals 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe that's right. So y equals 4. My focus is at 2, 2. And my vertex is at 2, 3. Hopefully this has been informative for you guys. We're going to work on this tomorrow in class. Let me know if you have any further questions. Otherwise, just make sure you know all of the equations for the conic sections that we covered and how to identify them. Good luck studying. I'll talk to you later.